Guys, I'm about to tell you a story that'll make you go, what the hell was this dude thinking? This isn't just about some TikTok creator's downfall, it's a perfect example of how social media can completely screw up your moral compass. Picture this. You wake up, have your coffee, and think to yourself, today I'm gonna go scream in Target and then pretend it wasn't me. Does that sound like something a normal person would do? Hell no. But for H. James, this became his daily routine. This guy, real name H. Cobb, racked up millions of views on TikTok over the past 6 months. How? By walking into stores, screaming at the top of his lungs, then acting like, wasn't me, bro. Wow, what creativity, right? But seriously, what this dude was doing went way beyond just being loud and obnoxious. He wasn't just screaming, he was straight up impersonating employees. Like, he'd roll up to Chipotle claiming he's from corporate, then have his buddies steal cleaning supplies. Or he'd show up at auto shops with a whole crew, telling workers they were sent to help, then start taking wheels off random cars. I gotta ask everyone reading this, do you genuinely find this funny? Because I'm sitting here trying to wrap my head around it, and I just can't. Think about it this way. You're working somewhere. Maybe you're a student with a part-time gig, or maybe you're working full-time just trying to pay your bills. Then some jackass shows up with a camera, starts messing with you, and turns you into a joke for millions of people online. How would that make you feel? This is where empathy comes in, folks. Did you notice that not a single employee in H. James' videos was laughing? None of them were having a good time or thinking, oh wow, this is hilarious. Because it's not hilarious. It's harassment, plain and simple. And finally, justice caught up with him. July 23rd, H. James got arrested. 13 different charges: third-degree burglary, criminal impersonation, disorderly conduct, criminal trespassing, the whole 9 yards. If convicted on everything, he's looking at 9 years and 8 months behind bars. Now, some people are saying 10 years is way too much. Maybe they're right. Maybe it is excessive. But guys, this wasn't just one video. This dude was systematically doing this stuff for months, maybe years. Every video was a crime. Every prank created a victim. Here's the thing, though. Is he actually going to do 10 years? Probably not. He'll likely plea bargain, get his sentence reduced, maybe do 6 months. But the important part is that he finally faced consequences. You know what really gets me? I genuinely don't understand why this type of content is so popular. It's like we've collectively decided as a society that service workers exist purely for our entertainment. Fast food employees, retail workers, people in the service industry, we treat them like they're just there to be content for our cameras. What kind of logic is that? These people aren't working for your entertainment. They're human beings just like you, with their own lives, problems, and goals. Maybe they're putting themselves through college, supporting their families, or just trying to make an honest living. But here's where social media's influence really shows. Suddenly, harassment disguised as pranks becomes normalized. People say, it's just a joke, while the person being pranked isn't laughing at all. You know what a real prank is? A real prank is something where the person being pranked can laugh about it afterward. They should be able to say, oh man, you really got me good there. But there's none of that in these videos. If you want to become a social media influencer, do it some other way, folks. Show off your talents, teach people something, make them laugh without victimizing anyone. Dance, sing, tell funny stories, but don't make other people's lives hell for content. H. James's story is really a cautionary tale about how quickly you can hit rock bottom when you're chasing that fast fame. Now this guy's probably going to have a criminal record. When he applies for jobs and they ask, have you ever been convicted of a crime? He'll have to say yes. Why? For TikTok videos. The really sad part of this story is that this dude has thousands of followers, and most of them are supporting him. They're leaving comments like, he was just having fun, and he didn't hurt anyone. But guys, we need to change this mindset. If you think this type of content is funny, ask yourself this. If you were in those employee shoes, would you actually find it funny? Be honest with yourself. The craziest part is how backwards our justice system can be sometimes. Like, there was this Arizona state senator, Tony Navarre, who got convicted of sexual conduct with a minor and only got 1 year. Meanwhile, H. James is looking at almost 10 years for basically being a professional asshole. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying the system is fair, because it's clearly not.
but that doesn't make H. James any less guilty of what he did. Look, I've seen tons of support for this guy, especially on TikTok, and honestly, I don't get it. Are people really advocating for a world where harassing workers and disturbing the peace is not only legal but encouraged? Do you really want to send the message that gathering your friends to steal stuff for a TikTok video is a solid career choice? The adults supporting this guy really blow my mind. Like, have you ever worked a service job? Have you ever had to deal with customers while some influencer sticks a camera in your face trying to get a reaction? Because if you had, you'd know this isn't funny. It's just cruel. I keep thinking about those employees in the videos. They're just trying to do their jobs, probably dealing with their own stress and problems, and then this happens. They've got to call security, maybe the police, give statements, stay after work, all because some dude wanted to make money off TikTok. That's not a prank. That's just derailing someone's entire day for your profit. Here's what really bothers me. There's this clear divide between people who find this funny and people who find it annoying. And honestly, I think that divide comes down to whether you've ever had to work these kinds of jobs or whether you can feel basic empathy for other people. H. James brought this all on himself. Nobody forced him to make these videos. He consciously chose this path knowing full well that what he was doing was illegal, and now he's facing the consequences. Maybe this will be a wake-up call for other content creators. Maybe they'll finally move away from this anything for content mentality and start making stuff that doesn't victimize innocent people. So here's my question for you. After hearing this whole story, what do you think? Is H. James getting what he deserves, or is the potential sentence too harsh? And how do we stop this type of content from being so popular? Because honestly, I'm hoping this marks the beginning of the end for this whole trend of making content at other people's expense.